Karen said PhD, and yes, there's a spin on that wildly used term in the medical field that actually was a real turning point in my decision to actually make this a book and write it. I think it was sometime in early 2010. It was a good year after I had started documenting stories for the kids. And I was really becoming kind of quite serious about the notion that I should write this as a book. And I went to go see one of my trusted advisors. I would tell you she was one of the members of my personal board of directors, as I would put it. Terry Kaczynski at Rex, who's a family counselor at Rex, and also was a key leader in the kids camp program. And it had been some time since I met with Terry, and so I was sitting in the office just catching up with her, and I wanted to tell her about my idea about the book. And so I told her, I've been writing these stories, and so therefore, there's a lot of people that we know that, if you will, kind of are characters in them or stars in them, friends, family, people I worked with. And I said, every time I share one of these stories with someone, I hear the same thing. They say, Kevin, you have to write this. You have to write this book. You have to tell this story. The world needs to hear the story about the McAteers. And going to see Terry was kind of one of those additional steps to find out, do I really need to do this? Is my head on straight? Is this the right thing to do? Well, Terry, of course, was supportive about the idea of the book on that day. And what I really remember from that was this piece of treasured information that I felt that she had gave me. And that was when she said to me, well, Mr. McAteer, as she normally would, she said, if you think it's a good idea to write this book about your family story, I think you've always had the gift of being very self-aware of what you can handle and what you can't handle. And you've been really fortunate to have a lot of support, and your family have a lot of people around Raleigh that a lot of others don't have when you're going through such things. And so if you think it's a good idea, then I think it's a good idea, and you should do it. She actually went on to say, Terry and many of the people she worked with have been doing this, the job that she was in, for 20 years. And she said, there were a lot of books out there that I reach for to help support families that we take care of. And honestly, there's a lot of books out there that I pull down to try to find the answers that I don't think I have or experienced for families that are reaching out to us. She said, well, I'll tell you, I don't know that there's one that's written by a man, written just by a dad who just wants to share a story. She said, normally you'll find these books are written by women, moms, wives, doctors, counselors, and if it is a man, then he probably has PhD at the end of his title or MD at the end of his title. So she said, I think it would be refreshing for the world to hear your voice, and you do have a great story to tell. So Terry was right. There aren't a lot of books out there, and there's probably more now than there was 5 or 6 years ago when Terry and I had this conversation. But there aren't a lot that are written by men. And so, her point was that, the whole story will touch women. But it's a book that also a man may pick up because it came just from a dad. Not from a doctor, not from a counselor. So she was right. Go look at the shelves and all that, and it is a challenge to find. They're out there, but they're challenging to find. But Terry was wrong, because I was a PhD. I was a proud husband and dad. I was before cancer. I was when cancer hit our family. And I was, and am, today, remarried and still a proud husband and dad. So that part I was glad Terry was wrong. Because without that part of it, there really probably isn't a book. Because the whole book really is not just about the fight, but that there is hope and there is laughter and there's love at the end of it.